Bye.
Once retired, Marcus decided, I will never again work for another man or woman. I abandoned my corporate phone plan, and I'll get a new plan with Consumer Cellular for up to half the cost.
Let's go, birds.
When freedom calls, we're here to answer.
New emergency crystals pop and fizz when you throw them back. And who doesn't love a good throwback? New emergency crystals. Throw it back.
Tomorrow on E.T., The Fugitive turns 30, what you never knew about the film. And Harrison Ford's on-set injury.
I planted my right foot and cut left and snap.
Ooh, make sure to check that one out. Now, there's one last thing we want to show you.
Happening now.
If you live in the city of Fair Oaks Ranch, your water bill could be going up. We'll tell you what the city is doing and how to avoid those extra fees.
And the second battle of the Alamo is finally over. The owner of Moses Rose's Bar and the Alamo Trust have reached a deal finally in order to make room for the new visitor center at the Alamo. What the owner of the bar got, aside from millions of dollars, that might have made the Alamo defenders proud.
A unique site on the north side of town today. I'll show you that video. And to talk about our new drought monitor, take a look at the changes over the past 6 weeks in just a bit. The news at 5 starts right now.
In this summer swelter, making water a valuable necessity. And if you live in Fair Oaks Ranch, wasting water could cost you. To avoid an emergency like a water boil notice or a costly water bill, city officials are urging people to use less water.
Our Camelia Juarez with how much extra water could cost you and how the city is handling this drought.
The Guadalupe River has stopped flowing, so people who depend on that water are now being asked to cut back.
Water conservation is very important for Texas as a whole.
Fair Oaks Ranch city officials warned people this week about a possible water boil notice.
Very, very quickly, we saw that observation well level drop significantly.
The Guadalupe Blanco River Authority stepped in with enough water to avoid an emergency.
It was in order to boost our well levels to help during that surge demand time.
As Fair Oaks Ranch heads into stage 2 drought restrictions, people have started reducing their water use, and it's helping.
Over the course of the last 24 hours, we have seen our wells replenishing quicker.
Last summer, the average Fair Oaks Ranch household used 19,000 gallons of water, and a lot of that comes from landscape irrigation.
It's just very vital that residents here or anywhere else conserves water where they can, because it could be a while until we get out of a drought stage again.
Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
After more than 20 years, the AT&T Center will have a new name when the Spurs season starts. Today, the Spurs officially announced Frost Bank as the new naming rights partner for their home arena. The Frost Bank Center, it will now be known as. This is a story we first told you about on Monday. Spurs owner Peter J. Holt, the CEO R.C. Buford, and Frost chairman Phil Green say this reiterates the commitment the Spurs have to San Antonio. The relationship between Frost Bank and the Spurs, by the way, dates back 50 years.
They helped us come here from Dallas, from being the chaparrals to the Spurs.
It's just a natural progression for us to be the partner that helps keep this hometown team in San Antonio.
The Spurs said today the signage around the buildings, street names, and highway signs will all be changed before the start of the season. The NBA does not allow for details of the agreement to be released, but Frost officials say they expect this to be a long-term agreement. A San Antonio teenager on the run and wanted for murder, and Crime Stoppers need your help in tracking him down. Take a good look at your screen right now. This is Seth Rocket. Police say he shot and killed Devin King outside of a club on UTSA Boulevard back on May 18th after two groups got into an argument and it turned violent. If you see Rocket or know where he is, call Crime Stoppers immediately. That number posted on your screen.
2 people are in the hospital after an overnight house fire happening inside the garage of a house in the 6,000 block of Kinsinger Pass. This is near Iloff Elementary School on the city's northeast side. 6 different fire departments responded to this fire just after 3 in the morning. Firefighters haven't said what sparked it, but a container of gas in the garage contributed to a lot of damage. One of the victims was burned on the foot. The other suffered from smoke inhalation. Officials estimate the house suffered about $200,000 worth of damage. The most recent Battle of the Alamo is now over. News today that the Alamo Trust has reached a deal with the Moses Roses Bar, the owners demanding the state to pay millions more for the bar property than was originally offered in the eminent domain proposal. Well, now both sides are declaring a victory, but the real winner may be history. After a year of back and forth, at times quite testy, between the Alamo Trust and Vince Cantu of the Moses Roses Hideout Bar, finally an agreement. We don't know how much the ultimate deal is worth, but we do know that the $5.26 million sale price the state offered was rejected months ago.
Basically, they want to negotiate with me, but they wanted a loaded gun to do it.
Cantu had claimed the state was trying to lowball him and did not properly account for the value of the business. Cantu had said before the eminent domain proceedings that his happy price to buy the bar was $17 million. Today, a deal ends the dispute with the state. The Alamo Trust saying in a statement, quote, "This mutual agreement ends the eminent domain litigation and is a landmark step toward the creation of the future Alamo Visitor Center and Museum," end quote. But aside from the money, an important concession that the battle participants of the original Battle of the Alamo would likely give a thumbs up to, the bar owner and the family will get museum display credit for any artifacts that are discovered beneath the building in land that has been untouched for about 150 years. The lawyer for the Cantu family saying in a statement, quote, "It is quite possible that no artifacts will be discovered under our building, but this concession was the respect we needed to demonstrate and declare that any transaction made on Alamo soil must recognize the private property rights for which the Alamo defenders fought and died almost 200 years ago." With the final holdout of the museum project now on board, the expansion of the Alamo can begin in earnest, with Cantu vacating the property by August 15th. New today, KSAT 12 learning that there is a second victim in a Wisconsin plane crash who is also from New Braunfels.
20-year-old Zachary Colley Moreno, identified as Devin Riley's co-pilot. Officials did not initially release Colley Moreno's hometown. KSAT 12 spoke with his family this morning about their memories of Zach.
He was the kind of kid that was infectious. Anybody who was around him, they wanted to hear his stories and be around him.
The National Transportation Safety Board and the Federal Aviation Administration investigating the crash. Tonight on the Night Beat, hear more of Zach's story and how much his family and flying meant to him.
Extreme heat and higher crude oil costs driving gas prices to their highest levels this year. AAA saying the average cost for a gallon of regular hit $3.80 yesterday, 26 cents more than a month ago. Prices at the pump haven't been this high since November. However, it's still a lot cheaper than the peak average of $5 a gallon we have generally in June. We had that last year. AAA says oil refineries and gas companies scale back production in extreme heat for safety reasons.
It was an unprecedented day in American history. Former President Donald Trump summoned to D.C. federal court today on new charges from Special Prosecutor Jack Smith. Smith says Trump was at the center of a scheme to overturn his 2020 election loss, which came to a head with the deadly January 6th insurrection. Law enforcement on high alert in Washington, D.C., where Trump faced a judge hours ago. He has since left to head back to Florida. ABC's Justin Finch reports from outside the courthouse.
Former President Donald Trump arriving at the Washington, D.C. federal courthouse to respond to his 4-count indictment from special counsel Jack Smith amid heavy security. Trump indicted on felony charges including conspiracy to defraud the United States and conspiracy against rights. Prosecutors allege Trump and his allies plotted to overturn his 2020 election loss to Joe Biden, culminating in the deadly January 6th riot at the Capitol.
The attack on our nation's capital on January 6th, 2021, was an unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy.
A U.S. Marshal spokesperson tells ABC News Trump was not handcuffed nor took a mugshot photo, but his fingerprints were scanned. The indictment also accusing Trump of knowingly promoting false election fraud claims and pressuring former Vice President Mike Pence to reject electoral votes on January 6th. Pence, now Trump's Republican rival for the 2024 presidential nomination, echoing that allegation on Fox.
The president specifically asked me, and his gaggle of crackpot lawyers asked me to literally reject votes.
Trump's defense attorney denying that accusation on CNN.
The ultimate request that Mr. Trump made to Vice President Pence was pause the vote counting, allow the states to weigh in.
Trump has denied any wrongdoing and pleaded not guilty. Trump's defense team is blasting this latest indictment as an attack on his free speech. But Trump's former attorney general is hitting back, saying free speech does not give one the right to engage in fraudulent conspiracy. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
It's time to get ready for this year's two-day high school football binge-a-thon. We are talking about 2023's KSAT Pigskin Classic. This year will be even bigger than last year. We've added an extra night of football.
There's going to be one game on Friday, August 25th, and then 3 games on Saturday, August 26th. Tickets on sale now. KSAT insiders can get the VIP experience with the best seats in the house. Just scan this QR code on the screen for more information, or you can always just head over to KSAT.com.
2 days of tailgating.
Yeah.
That's better than one, if you ask me, out there at the Alamo Dome. Today, so far, our high temperature, 100 degrees in San Antonio, the average 97, record 103. I anticipate that number to rise a little bit by the time we get the official readout for the 6 o'clock newscast. 105 in Del Rio in Warren's backyard. Panna Maria 102. It's really more of the same. Bulverde 99 and Mico right now 101. Even Windcrest 100 degrees. A very unique sight on the north side of San Antonio today. I'm going to talk more about this video and explain it. Maybe you've seen something like this before, along with our triple-digit heat and which days we're likely to break records in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. Let's check out traffic right now. Let's go to I-35 in Flores, and you can see it is a mess. Actually, in both directions, the transit guide cameras kind of been swinging back and forth, but you see there is a backup. I believe that McCullough and Brooklyn, that exit has been closed down because of some construction, but this looks like it's caused because there's a fender bender right in the middle lanes, right during rush hour. It is a first-of-its-kind camp for kids right here in San Antonio. Camp Hope welcomes children and young people suffering from pancreatitis to experience all the joys of summer camp in a safe space with no limitations.
Our photojournalist Robert Summerone visiting Camp Hope today, and he shows us their story.
Camp Hope for me is home. It's an escape from reality and the normal world.
But one of the things that was really important to us was quality of life for our children. And by quality of life, I mean not just medical quality of life, but emotional and social quality of life where they could feel like they got a chance to be a kid.
It feels great because you know that they have pancreatitis too, so then they understand what's wrong with you too.
I'm here because I had chronic hereditary pancreatitis.
And we realized there were kids all around us that were desperate to find help.
One of the problems with pancreatitis is that despite it being a fairly common syndrome, it's not very well understood.
This helps me digest sugar. My pancreas used to, but since I don't have one, this has to help me.
And we found that out of the 65 kids that we have here, there was a delay in diagnosis from anywhere from 1 to 8 years. So these kids suffer from neglect, from lack of education.
We call it beauty from ashes because it was really difficult for us to see any good whatsoever come from this.
Now we are celebrating their abilities.
It's just nice knowing that more people are like you.
Great to see them having fun in the air conditioning. Still ahead on the news at 5, a recall roundup. New Hyundai and Kia owners are being urged to be careful where they park their cars. We're going to tell you why after the break.
I'm Myra Arthur in the newsroom, and here's what's coming your way today on the news at 6 o'clock. More than 60 dogs rescued this morning from a puppy mill on the far southwest side. Turns out the number of dogs grew once vets started checking them out. how soon the county says they could be up for adoption. Plus, a controversial project to rejuvenate parts of Brackenridge Park got another go-ahead from the city council today. Why some in the community and on the council tried to get them to pump the brakes on this. And the state resting today in a murder trial of a teen accused of a deadly shooting on Martin Luther King Day last year. We take you inside the courtroom as the defendant takes the stand. That and more today on the news at 6.
Thank you, Myra. If you own a newish Hyundai or Kia, you may be careful where you park that thing right now. In particular, several models of cars and SUVs are potential fire dangers.
12 on your sides, Marilyn Moritz explains why in today's Recall Roundup, beginning with a warning for parents about baby monitors.
Parent alert, Philips Avent is recalling nearly 13,000 video baby monitors. It has 23 reports of the battery overheating while on charge. The two models were made between 2016 and 2019. Contact the company for a new one. Hyundai and Kia are warning owners of 92,000 newer vehicles to park them outside because of a fire danger. Hyundai is recalling certain 2023 and 2024 Palisades and some Tucson, Sonata, Elantra, and Kona vehicles. Kia's recall affects Soul, Sportage, and Seltos vehicles. An electronic controller and an oil pump may overheat. Owners will get a letter next month. Federal regulators warn this bike helmet may not protect your head in a crash. They say the SQM helmets fail to meet safety standards. They were sold from March 2022 through last January on Amazon. And certain batches of Tydemi birth control pills are recalled. The FDA warns the pills may have reduced effectiveness in preventing pregnancy. The expiration dates are January or September 2024.
The company is telling patients to go ahead and keep taking them, but contact their doctor for an alternative. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Take a live look outside with live cam right now. Okay, we talked about that Camp Hope. It was actually at Morgan's Wonderland Camp.
Yes.
Camp that's out north of town. And that, I didn't know they had a big air-conditioned gymnasium like that.
It's good to know.
Yeah, and the art room right next door. And then they don't call it a lazy river. It's like a relaxing river. They have a better name for it, of course, with the pool outside. So when Ursula mentioned you enjoying the air conditioning, I was thinking, well, their pool's pretty big and pretty cool, too. Anyway, I want to show you a unique sight that one of our KSAT 12 viewers caught on video today. This was on the north side of town around 1604, and this was a dust devil. You got to watch carefully here. They don't last very long. Now, these are common in West Texas. You see them out in the open field, sometimes even drive through them. They don't cause any damage. But as a result of all the construction and that dust and dirt on the ground, we were able to see this dust devil in town. Now, here's how they form. The bright sunshine beats down on the ground. The air, it warms up the ground, the air rises, and it creates a really small or mini area of low pressure right at the ground. Well, because of that area of low pressure and the rising air has to rush in to replace that air that's going upward, and that air that rushes in creates this circulation, increases very briefly, and the process sustains itself usually for about 10 to 15 seconds. They can last longer out in the open areas of West Texas where it's even hotter, and then eventually the cooler air is picked up and it kills the circulation and it dissipates. I actually saw one of these yesterday afternoon near 1604 in Blanco, where we have all that construction and all that dust. It's a little dust devil out there. Just friendly little dust devil, don't cause any damage. 52% of Texas in drought. That's one reason why we've got so much dust out there. And of course, most of it right here in the Texas Hill Country and even creeping into northwest Bexar County, the extreme and exceptional drought. Compare that to 6 weeks ago. Big difference. We've fallen deeper in drought. Okay, we're going to do this for you one more time. And notice that change from 6 weeks ago to today. We need rain, unfortunately. Our rain chances are slim to none. Rainfall potential over the next 7 days really keeps all the activity up and away from Texas in general. So unfortunately, a lot of sunshine and no real chance to pull out of this drought anytime soon. Bit breezy this evening, southeasterly wind at 10 to 20, increasing humidity again. By midnight, we'll be in the mid-80s. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., 79. By noon, 93. 104 the high tomorrow with sunshine. That would be a new record by 1 degree. Eagle Pass, 106. Carrizo Springs, 108 tomorrow. Meanwhile, New Braunfels, 104. And we'll be anywhere from about a 104 to 105 for highs all the way through next week, most of which will tie or break records.
Ouch. I keep saying that. I've got to come up with something new.
It's just ramping up. All right. Shows the intensity at Cowboys camp, apparently.
Yeah, well, when you get on the pads and the helmet and you start hitting, the guys kind of get mad at each other, right? So when it comes to trash talk, how does head coach Mike McCarthy handle that? Plus, our BGC preview takes us to Hondo, where we check in with the Owls coming up.
Throughout the offseason, the guys have carried around one of the gold balls of one of the most storied seasons in Hondo history, and they look at that every single day. They carry it around with them. They want to rack up some gold balls because we didn't get one last year, and that's the goal.
Coach Templin says his Owls are looking at the past to inspire their upcoming football season in big board sports.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
Practice number 8 for the Dallas Cowboys is in the books in Oxnard, California, and so far so good from the sounds of it. When you talk with Coach McCarthy, they're improving every single day as they get ready for the new season. Now, even in the cooler temperatures there, the players can still get hot under the helmet and talk trash when they get upset. Coach was asked if he tries to temper that.
Well, I mean, trash talking is part of our environment. So I don't referee that, and it's there's it goes on in the lunch line. So I mean, it's not like it's something new, and it's been going on as long as I've been in this league. So yeah, I think that's just part of our our culture and guys competing.
Micah Parsons has hit quarterback Dak Prescott multiple times during training camp, and that's a no-no. You don't touch the guy in red. And McCarthy says Parsons is the #1 violator, prompting a chat with his star defender. Let's check in with the Hondo Owls as we continue our big game coverage previews. Hondo has 15 starters returning from last season, 7 on offense, 8 on defense, but a lot of those guys play both ways. The Owls went 5-6 overall last season, 4-1 in District 14 3A1, while advancing to the first round of the playoffs. This season, Dave Campbell's Texas Football predicts they'll finish 3rd in district behind Jernton and Poteet. The seniors are looking to make a big impact during their final season with the Owls.
Man, this season means the most to me, especially being out here with all my guys, like just practicing, playing hard every day, getting better. I just love it, and it means everything to me.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, I've never been more happy since the last 4 months. So it's awesome for me.
Really looking for a big playoff push this coming up season, looking at a district championship. Even though everyone's doubting us, I think our guys here have put in the work this offseason and these first 2 days of two-a-days, and I really do think that we have a great shot of going and winning a district championship, bringing it back.
Hondo will host Marion on Friday, August 25th at 7 p.m. to kick off their season.
It just looks hot out there.
It does.
Football practice. I mean, I'm just,
That's why they go in the morning. A little cooler.
Yeah, thanks, Larry.
We'll be right back.
Sunny and hot, 104, 105. It looks like 5 of the next 7 days should tie or break record highs. I have something really cool to show you at 6:45. A very unique weather instrument I am just pumped to share.
You're keeping it a secret, too.
Oh, I am.
I've
It's
noticed.
so cool.
It's got it in a closed case.
Vintage.
All right, Adam.
See, it's
the OG.